What's a podcast? I like your show.
How did I get here? Welcome to the Shipe Sports Show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Shipe Sports Talk Show. We have an echo.
How about now? Better?
Echo's good.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Shipe Sports Talk Show. As always, I am your host, Matthew Shipe, joined always by my co-host and the show's producer, Paul.
How's it going, man?
It's going good. Just want everyone out there to know, always check out Paul's own podcast, the Crazy Talk Podcast with a K. You can watch them every, what you guys do, Tuesdays or Wednesdays?
Usually Tuesdays, sometimes Wednesdays.
7, right? 7-2?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
All right, well, check them out on YouTube. That's Crazy Talk with a K. Check them out also on Facebook. So, Paul, good work with that podcast. It's always funny to listen to you guys talk.
Right. It is. It's pretty fun to do.
Talk about whatever segues or whatever Henry says.
Right on.
Joined to my left by co-host Christian Rivera.
How you guys doing?
Doing good. Across from me is Chris Cordova.
Hey, how's it going?
And returning to the studio today is David, the Coach Shipe. Welcome back, Coach.
Yeah, it's good to be back after a while out.
Yeah, welcome back, Coach.
Welcome back. How'd your season go?
Well, let's get on with the sports talk show host. Let's not stop for any irregulars or anything.
All right, well, we have a packed show today. On the show today, obviously, we're going to start up with our Start 'em Up fantasy segment, as we always do every week. Then we're going to get into the Redskins versus the Patriots preview, which is supposedly going to be much of how much the Patriots are probably going to win by this week.
Sure.
After that, we're going to do our new basketball segment, returning for this week for the N1 segment with our basketball analyst of the show, Christian Rivera. Big win last night for the Wizards.
Big one.
3-point buzzer. Beaters, as you can
Bradley
say.
Beal.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're going to talk about some of the injuries that happened last week in the NFL. You know, I think the running back position is pretty much, I went over it last week. I think at least all the top 5 running backs in the draft are almost out, except for Adrian Peterson, if you look at it.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about the Washington Nationals' new manager, Dusty Baker, who was introduced today. Maybe we'll see how they can do this maybe next year, how he's going to influence them, maybe some little off-season impacts they may do now. So let's get started with our fantasy segment, the Start 'em Up fantasy segment. As always, we do our start of the week. We do our sleeper, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, the major 4 positions that you need to win your league. As proven last week, you don't need a kicker to win a game, as I didn't have one in one league and still won. So
I did need a kicker to win my game, yeah. and he came through, which was awesome.
They can definitely make or break you.
Well, Paul messaged me and he said, "Oh, hey, you don't have a kicker." I'm like, "Oh, I'm fine. I'm still up by 20. I don't think I'm going to lose." This guy doesn't. He didn't have anyone, so that's why I didn't really care. So let's go with the quarterback first, as always. My pick of the week is going to be Matty Ice Ryan of the Atlanta Falcons. He's been ever since the hot start. He's been going down a little bit, but when anyone who has Julio Jones, you're going to come out of your slump. You're playing against the 49ers defense, who that whole team is in turmoil. They're having a new quarterback this week, Blaine Gabbert, who probably won't do much. I mean, he's starting this week. Matt Ryan may see the field a lot more than what he's usually doing. And my sleeper this week is going to be, I'm going to go with Marcus Mariota, the Titans. Coming back this week, he had 2 weeks off to heal his injury. He's playing against, as we saw last week, a horrible Saints defense. And when we saw what that game last week against the Giants, it was just crazy. It just kept going back and forth. So if it's a good week for the Titans offense to get going, this is the week to do it. So, Christian, let's go with you, your quarterback.
Well, my starting quarterback is going to be Andy Dalton against Cleveland this week. He's really playing very comfortable this year. He's becoming the man, as they say. He's becoming a top quarterback, and I feel like he's actually he's feeling comfortable as the team leader. So I feel like he's definitely going to have a great week against Cleveland this week. And my sleeper is going to be, to counter what you said, Jameis Winston, number 1 in the draft.
Yep.
Going against a pretty shaky Giants defense, as he said last week. We saw last week, 32nd overall. I think he's coming along pretty well for a rookie this year, showing good signs of progression. And I think he's going to have a good week this week.
All right, Chris, let's go with you now.
For my fantasy start for quarterback, I'm going to have to go with, unfortunately, Tom Brady. He's got a really tasty matchup at home against the Redskins defense. I guess we can go into the Redskins in more detail later. But, Tom Brady has been on fire all year, MVP candidate. So you can't really bet against Tom Brady. For my sleeper pick, I'm actually going to go with Tyrod Taylor. He played them really well earlier in the season. And, coming off the bye week, coming off the injury, I feel like he's had enough time to prepare for this game. So I do feel like he's going to come back, and he's just going to, come back with a vengeance.
All right. And Coach?
Oh, okay. Well, I might pick him for the quarterback position. I'm gonna go with reliable. I'm gonna go with Peyton Manning. Denver versus Indy. I think what you got to remember is the last time Peyton played up there in Indianapolis, they lost. So he's going in there. He's been calm all week, so he's been keeping a low profile, and I think he may light him up a little bit. And on the sleeper on the backside, and this is a real sleeper. It could outdo the Seven Dwarfs or whatever. Is probably Sam Bradford from Philly.
What? That's it?
That's it.
That's all you need?
I've
All right.
lost for words. I haven't been here for a month.
Hey, man, it's Eagles against Dallas. I mean,
Dallas.
that's going to be an exciting
Yeah.
game.
It is.
I really
Yeah,
can't
for
wait
sure.
to watch that one.
All right, well, let's go with our running backs. And my running back to play this week is actually, I had one, but I'm going to do the combo of Deion Lewis and LeGarrette Blount.
All right.
Only because they're playing the Redskins defense, and the last couple times the Redskins defense has played, they've just let running backs just run all over them. So I'm going to go with that combo. I'm going to go with Blount running right up the middle right at them. And then, if Knight, Pot Roach can hold that middle, then just go right to the outside with Lewis and the PPR. I mean, for PPR, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, last week he dominated for me in my league.
Especially if the Patriots get up on an early lead. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
they're just going to run
it.
the clock,
Yeah. And that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But for some reason this year, even when they have an early lead, they still want to just throw the ball just to prove a point to people. I mean, they
Yeah.
really have not
Jerks.
taken it easy on anyone.
No, they haven't.
They're out to prove a point. And then my sleeper is going to be Mark Ingram of the Saints playing against my Titans, only because the Titans' run defense has been horrible all year round. Everyone's just running the ball up and down on them. Lamar Miller got back on track against us, and I think it's going to happen again. So I'm going to go with Mark Ingram.
And the most important thing there is that the touchdown vulture is now out for the season. So Kyrie Robinson is out for the season, and that's really what's hurting Ingram's stats, because Ingram was getting the yards, he just wasn't getting the touchdowns when it really counted. So I agree with you there.
I love having my fantasy team, but that didn't happen. So let's go with Chris. Go with your running backs.
My start of the week is going to have to be Chris Ivory. I know he's had a slump these past 2 or 3 games, but going against the Jacksonville Jaguars team that has allowed over 20 points to the running back in fantasy, so you got to definitely start him this week. My sleeper is going to be Langford from the Bears. I mean, he's not really a sleeper now. If anyone follows the waiver wire, then he was a really hot commodity this week after Matt Forte went down. They've already said that he is going to be the workhorse, so it's not going to be a committee thing. So he's guaranteed to get about 20 touches this week.
All right, Coach, let's go with yours.
Oh yeah. Oh, running backs. I would like to start Todd Gurley from the Rams.
Yeah.
They're playing Minnesota. I think he's been running pretty good the last couple of weeks. I
He's
don't
on
think
fire.
why he should stop against Minnesota. Now a sleeper, and I'm bringing this from way down under. Okay, is Frank Gore for Indianapolis.
All right.
I just like they may not be able to throw the ball, so they may just give him a dose of Frank Gore.
We'll see what happens. That's going to be another interesting game to watch.
Christian?
Okay, my starter is going to be C.J. Anderson for the Denver Broncos against Indy this week. I actually
Now, are you picking CJ by himself, or do you want to go with the duo of him and Hillman?
I'll go with the duo, actually.
The
You know
duo?
what?
I think that's probably the better, safer one.
Yeah,
to
the
duo.
funny thing is, I actually drafted C.J. Anderson. I believe it was either second or third in one of my fantasy leagues, and he's just been. I'm at a loss for words for that.
He's on
but-
the all-bus team.
Oh yeah, definitely. Disappointing season to say the least. Especially with that two-headed beast that they got going on there in Denver. But they are playing Indy. I feel like he's gonna get at least a touchdown this week, and he's gonna put up some numbers. Sleeper is gonna be LaShawn McCoy. I know he's only had 1 touchdown this season, but he's playing a shaky run defense in Miami, and I feel like he's gonna come back this week and have a good week.
All right, let's move on to wide receivers. And my top pick this week is going to be Denarius Thomas. playing against a horrible, Colts defense. Like, he picked Peyton, and I think Thomas is going to be catching the. What are you smiling about?
Because you're just trying to sell your player that you're trying to trade away. So
That's probably
Well, did you hear my sleep?
Nice.
he's just trying to sell his players so he can sell them high.
Yeah, they're not going to accept the trade. It's stupid anyway. But anyway, I'm going with Denarius Thomas. I think he's going to have a good week. Probably Emmanuel Sanders will also have a good week. And
I agree.
Oh, he's a tight end.
they're trying to get Vernon Davis out there. So we'll see how this duo does, and we'll see if what happens. I think if they get them all going, it's going to be a high-scoring game. And my sleeper is going to be Amari Cooper. Not because it's involved in the trade.
Mm-hmm.
Because Cooper, he's the number one guy in Oakland. He's putting up numbers week in and week out. The Steelers' secondary has proven that it's not the strongest it's been. AJ last week, kind of had his way. The first week, the Patriots had their way. So it's not the same without Palomalu, Ike Taylor. It hasn't been the same. Dick LeBeau's growing also defensive coordinator. So it's a different Steelers defense, and they just haven't been really good against the pass. So I'm gonna go with Amari Cooper. So,
Yeah, and don't forget who's throwing him the ball. He's hot right now.
Oh yeah. I think Raiders have finally found a quarterback they've been
They
looking
can build
for
around. Mhm.
since Rich Gannon.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Throwing
Chris,
it back.
Christian, let's go with you.
All right, my starter is going to be Antonio Brown. Big Ben came back last week, had a shaky game to say the least. But I think he shook it all off last week. He's playing pretty bad Oakland pass defense, 31st overall. And I think Antonio Brown and Big Ben are going to do what they did at the beginning of the season and just be lights out. Sleeper's going to be Jeremy Maclin from Kansas City. Hasn't had a great season. I know a lot of Kansas City fans were hoping a little bit more from him this season, but he's had a couple.
He's had some pretty good games.
Last two games have been all right. A couple touchdowns. I think it was last week, and I think he's gonna have a good game against Buffalo this week.
All right.
Coach?
I'm going to go with Julio Jones, Atlanta versus San Francisco. They're going to find a little bit more ways to Mr. Ryan. If you pick him as your quarterback starter, then he better get you some points and get Julio Jones to get some points for some other people. Now, as a sleeper, okay, I would look at T.Y. Hilton for Indy. There, something might be there. Luck may find him short, may find him medium, but it's a pretty good sleeper.
And he's
it
a
doesn't allow
guy.
you to sleep yourself.
He's a guy who can take a 1 yard out pass and take it to the house.
Right. So
Anytime.
yeah, 5 here and there, 10 up 20, 30. So who knows?
Chris?
I'm gonna have to go with my starter as Julian Edelman. Another great matchup. Tom Brady is spreading the ball around, and other than Gronk, Julian Edelman is his favorite target, and I have a feeling he's going to get at least 10 looks this week. In terms of my sleeper, I'm gonna actually go with Steve Johnson from the Chargers. With Keenan Allen out for the season, which is an unfortunate loss for the Chargers. I do think Steve Johnson is going to go ahead and fill that slot role like he was supposed to at the beginning of this season.
Now, do you think he'll be the one, or do you think it'll be Floyd?
Well, I think Floyd obviously is going to step up as the number one. I mean, without a doubt. But I do think that Stevie Johnson will probably be third on the list in terms of targets. And Phillip Rivers have been slinging the ball everywhere. He's up there with Tom Brady this year. So it's going to be Malcolm Floyd. It's going to be Antonio Gates, but you're also going to see Steve Johnson.
Let me ask you, would you start Floyd over Stephon Diggs this week?
I probably would. The Bears defense is not that great, so I definitely probably would start him.
Okay.
Especially in daily fantasy.
Cool.
He's much cheaper than Diggs.
Cool. Anyway,
Right.
yeah, he is. All right, tight ends. Obviously, I think we all can say Gronk, so we're gonna have to choose someone else because I think that's unanimous. Gronk, tight ends kill the Redskins. You saw what Jacob Tammy did, and Gronk has the size. The Redskins don't have the linebackers that compete with him. They don't have the cornerbacks or the safety to compete with him. So we'll do someone else besides Gronk this week. My starter this week is gonna be Kyle Rudolph. He's been a little safe haven for Teddy Bridgewater in the red zone. He's getting touchdowns, so I like that. Sleeper's gonna be Larry Donnell of the Giants. I just Eli always finds a way to find this guy in games. He may not be getting the most yards, but I think the matchup they have this week favors him a lot. So I'm gonna go for Larry Donnell of the Giants. So Chris, let's go with you.
I'm going to have to go, other than Gronk, of course, I'm going to have to go with Bennett. Basically, he's fallen off recently, but I do have a feeling that other than Alshon Jeffries, basically he is their number 2 target, and he's a big guy, especially in the red zone. I have a feeling he's going to catch at least 1 touchdown, if not 2, if they get it down in the red zone. The Chargers defense is just not really helping out their offense this season, and that's part of the reason why Phillip Rivers is doing so well, because he does have to throw it 30, 40 times a game. In terms of a sleeper, I'm going to have to go with Delaney Walker. Basically with your sleeper to go with Mariota, against a Saints defense that gave up a lot of points. I think there was over 1,000 yards of total offense that game, and it was just ridiculous the amount of offense that was happening. So definitely Delaney Walker and Mariota, I think, are going to hook up.
Coach?
Oh, my starter tight end would be Greg Olson from the Carolina Panthers in the game versus Green Bay. I think tight ends are going to be a big pick in that game on Sunday. And my sleeper, I don't know if you call him a sleeper or not, would be Jordan Reed of the Redskins, who, if Kirk can't hit it long, he's going to have to check down to Jordan. And if they don't give Jordan good coverage up there, he could be a sleeper pick, give you some points this week.
I agree. I mean, they're going to have to play catch-up, I think, so let's do it.
So, aside from Gronk this season, obviously, I think a very interesting tight end is Gary Barnidge from Cleveland this year. They're playing tonight, and I think, 6 touchdowns, 550 yards this season so far.
Came out of nowhere.
Yeah, out of nowhere, really. And I think he's just going to have a great game tonight against Cincinnati, even though the defense is, a great defense, but I think he's going to continue to dominate. And my sleeper is going to be, even though it ain't much of a sleeper, I guess you could say, is Kelsey from Kansas City. Again, they are...
Put up points last week.
Yeah, they're playing... Where are they playing? They are playing...
Wait, aren't they on a bye this week?
They're
on a bye,
They're
bro.
on a bye, Chris.
I was just like, wait a minute.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they're on a bye, bro.
That's a good sleeper right there, baby.
Yeah, great
You can get him to get some points.
He is sleeping.
He's going to be sleeping all week.
Well, there goes that.
Oh, he had a brain fart. Brain fart.
That's all right. We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
I made 8 of them this year.
Sorry.
That's funny.
Who's your sleeper then?
Oh,
Yeah, you got to pick another one, bro.
Let me see. Give me a second.
There's not that many
You know
choices
what?
in
I'm
tight end.
I'm
you know
gonna
what
go
I mean?
with. I'm gonna go with Jason Witten because I feel like they're coming in the divisional game this weekend.
He's out too, man.
Is he?
No, I'm just kidding.
No, he's
No, he's there.
I was about to just walk off set right now. You know?
Oh, wait a minute now. I just got a text here from Bobby Blackman was on here a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And Bobby said the sleeper of all sleepers would be tonight, and he'd say a quarterback, Johnny Manziel.
Paul, can you cue the "what are you talking about" thing?
All right, Bobby, there's your. We put it on. You called in. That's what you said would be your heavy sleeper tonight. We just hope he's awake for the game.
Oh, I gotta wait for it. Let's get it load.
All right, well, that's our fantasy segment for the week. Paul's trying to figure.
Where is it?
You guys know where's that?
I don't know. Where is that?
Oh, Jesus,
It's
Paul.
coming. Hold on. I'm doing like 3 things at once there.
All right, well, I guess we'll jump into the Redskins Patriots.
Whatever you want.
Yeah, we'll jump into
What are you
Redskins.
talking about?
Yeah, there you
What are
go.
you
That's for
talking
Blackman.
Yeah,
He's probably watching the show right now.
There's your
He's
answer, Bobby.
Probably gonna kill him. But no, he recently took a trip out to the St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Sent me a video. He had sideline passes out there.
Yeah, he sent a sideline video of the 49ers coming onto the field.
He got to watch Torrey Smith go on the side by himself, going, "I'm open, I'm open, Cap." Kaepernick, no, Kaepernick just gonna run the ball. Any other quarterback would have been looked over and been like, "Let me just start." That's a 93-yard touchdown for Torrey Smith. There was no one within 20 yards of Torrey
you think
Smith.
that's one of the main reasons they benched him? That
Yo, I would. Can you imagine being the offensive coordinator and just going, "Hey, Cap, we're gonna send you some pictures. I want you to look at the bottom of the pictures. I'm gonna throw a big circle around it for you. Okay? I want you to look at that, Colin. Okay, buddy? All right. All right, buddy. I'm gonna do little red crayons for you. Okay?
Jeez.
All right, Colin. There you go.
yeah, there's something
He
like
shouldn't
that.
shave the beard until he gets a win. And in that case, he's gonna look like Santa Claus when he's done.
Right.
Oh, God.
Like he is going. He's
Is he starting
he's
this week?
feeling the, he's
No.
having an RG3 year.
Really?
No,
They're
they sat him
sitting
this
him
week.
this week.
For,
Sitting him there.
Blaine Gabbert. That's
Blaine
why,
Gabbert.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's.
You
Okay.
get
Enough.
benched for Blaine Gabbert in this.
It's over.
Blackman, sorry, making fun of your 49ers, but I mean, good lord, just good lord.
It's not a good time.
I mean,
in
I don't
San
know what
Francisco
you can
right
say about it. I mean, that's just a whole bunch of just mess.
That's pretty bad.
Like Torrey Smith should have stayed with the Ravens. I bet you he probably regrets it right now.
Oh, definitely.
Vernon Davis is jumping up and down, and he got a phone call on his cell phone. Said, "Hey, you're going."
Where's that call there?
There were so many memes on Facebook
Vernon
and
Davis-
all over the internet.
Here's
of
Vernon Davis.
cheesing.
Hey, oh, what's up, agent? You're Broncos now. Cool. I'm just gonna leave my stuff in the 49ers locker room. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
He just left his stuff. He got on a plane and said, "I'm going. See ya."
You ran over there.
I wouldn't you? You just went from a team.
He also posted pictures when he got there, like just cheesing, just like.
All right, well let's jump in. Let's go to a game where the Redskins fans won't be cheesing, and that'll be the Redskins versus the Patriots. And I don't know much more you can say about this other than are the Patriots going to cover the 11.5 spread? You think?
That's a good question.
Think they're going to cover?
So.
I think they're going to cover
really
it.
think so.
I think so.
Yeah, it's possible they'll cover
gonna
that.
cover it.
Only 11.5.
It may be covered by
Only.
halftime.
Right, yeah.
It could be covered by halftime. I mean, I know we're in the DC area. We're posted. I'm wearing a Redskins jersey today. Sean Taylor, one of the best safeties that probably would have played the NFL if not for the tragic loss. But I mean, what can you do against a Patriots team that's just unstoppable? I mean, they have demolished anyone that gets in their way. It's just Tom Brady's out to prove a point.
Yeah.
I don't deflate my balls, so I'm gonna just pound everyone, and that's what he's doing.
Now, one of the only things that I guess Redskins fans can hope for is that the Patriots sleep on the Redskins.
Oh yeah.
Now, with Bill Belichick as the coach, I don't think that's
No,
ever
there
gonna
is
happen.
there is no
That's not gonna
sleeping with
happen.
Bill
There is no
Belichick.
sleeping with Bill
No,
Belichick. so.
and what if some people say the Redskins just may have a little bit too many injuries on the defensive side of the ball to contain like you would expect them to do with all starters in.
I
Yeah.
mean, who's going to cover Gronk? Can we just ask that? Who's going to cover
I don't
Gronk?
know.
It doesn't matter.
None of their
No.
linebackers are going to cover Gronk.
No.
No.
None of their defensive backs are going to cover Gronk.
No,
small.
no safety. No.
No, there's nothing. There's no one that can cover Gronk. There is absolutely no one. The only thing they can do is
The Redskins could triple cover him. He'll still find a way.
that's what they need to do. Blitz all night. That's all you can do.
That's all they can
Just
try.
blitz.
Boy, Edelman open if Gronk's triple.
Mhm.
Edelman's open.
Edelman's
and
wide
don't
open.
forget Amendola.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
Brandon LaFell's
Brandon
back.
LaFell's
Oh,
back.
Yeah, he is.
And then if that happens, you got Lewis out of the backfield. I mean, there's really nothing you can do as a Redskin. And then on the offensive side,
Well,
here's
the only thing you can do, like you just said, is you have to blitz. I mean, that's
gotta blitz
that's,
every play.
That's how
Just
the
bring
Giants
it.
beat them in the Super Bowl.
Just-
they got
blitz,
pressure on
blitz,
Brady.
blitz, blitz, blitz.
Yeah.
here's one thing the Redskins are going to have to do, and they are really going to have to do this, is run the football.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten a little disheartened at them because they have taken, the main running back out of there,
Yeah.
and they're splitting time, and he's not getting his full potential.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hope it's not over a money scenario.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about
with
that.
the contract coming up or
Mhm.
whatever. But I just think the rhythm's not there. They have not had it, I believe, since maybe week 1. They've got to keep him in there, let him get a rhythm, because as you know, he gets better in the second half with a rhythm. You can't let these running backs like this get out and get cold.
And that's one of the things that a lot of people were talking about in the beginning of the season with the 3 running back system that they had at first. How can anybody really catch a rhythm, like Coach said right now? It's hard for anybody.
Well, we talked about that 3-headed monster a lot with Philly in the offseason, and they have not
What three-headed
produced.
monster?
Well, yeah, it's not there anymore, but that was the big thing in the
He's
offseason.
got a three-headed puppy dog now.
Right.
Like, I didn't see the
That's not that's
Darren
proven
Sproles
it's not
isn't playing
working.
bad.
That's true.
Well, I don't get Morris. Like what? Like he's not the same guy.
Well, he's not getting in a rhythm.
Yeah.
Now, are they purposely trying to sabotage Morris so they don't have to pay him?
I would hope not.
I
would
hope not. I mean, there's a lot
But
of
you know,
reports.
GMs do that somewhere.
Right, but it's
Teams got to do that.
Do you want to win, or you want to win, or do you want? Are you worried about money now? I thought winning is what you would love to do. Let's worry about the money later.
Well, when you got
Yeah,
Dan
well-
Snyder as an owner, who God knows.
I was just
going
gonna say when the owner is,
what the
Dan
best-
Snyder, you
know
never
what the
know.
best hope for the Redskins is? Kevin Durant buys a team.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Durant buys the team.
They might be able to after they pay him enough money to come to Washington.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, the Redskins got to establish the run game because then,
Right.
obviously, if you don't get it going right away, Cousins is going to have to pass 50 times a game. You don't want that.
No, you don't.
You have
No.
Deshaun back, but here's the thing: is the Patriots what they do great is they lock down your top receiver. You saw it in Week 1 when Antonio Brown he was locked down until that final touchdown. So what they do is they send around who your best offensive player is. They're going to lock you down, which means, I hate to say it, Deshaun ain't the best offensive player. They're going to lock down Jordan Reed.
Right.
They're going to lock Reed down and then see what Deshaun does come back from a hamstring. And I tell you what, Patriots are going to test that hamstring. They're going to hit him low. They're going to do whatever they can. They're going to make Deshaun work with a hamstring like that. So they're going to, obviously, I'm telling you right now, Jordan Reed is probably not a good play this week in fantasy at all. Anything, because he's going to be locked down. Kurt's going to have to find someone else, and these young guys is going to have to step up.
I don't know about not a good play because garbage points count as much as
Garbage
anything.
points,
Yeah.
but they're still going to lock him down, though. I mean, you may only get...
If it's a point per reception fantasy, I would consider
But in a
playing him. But
standard
if
league,
it's
no.
not in a standard league, no.
Who
No.
does standard leagues anymore? Who does that?
But I think it's going to be interesting to see how Deshaun Jackson comes back. I mean, he's had weeks and weeks to recover. This is the week that he's going to come back. It's a tough week to come back, but I definitely want to see how him and Cousins mesh. I think that's going to be interesting, not only for this game, but just for the rest of the season.
He's been out since week 1, right?
I don't know. It was really early.
1, week 2, it was early.
It was really early. But I really am excited to see that because, if we can get a couple deep bombs going, that's just going to stir up the excitement in the crowd and, it's just going to get us excited for the rest of the season. And we're going to need him if we're going to get
Definitely.
if we're going to get the next few games. I mean, this whole rest of the season is tough. I mean, have you guys looked at the schedule? It's going to be crazy.
it's crazy.
They're like I said last week, their best thing is 9-7. Their worst could be the 3 wins they have now.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and the bad part is they face Romo. They're going to have to play Romo. He's
They
going to be
will.
back.
Right, he'll be back when they play him.
So I don't think Kurt will be saying his thing anytime soon, maybe. If he wins this week, I hope they have the cameras right on him.
Oh, well, we'll
But
see.
I highly doubt they're going to win. So,
He's not gonna win.
all right, well, we're going to get right into our NFL picks because sadly, Chris is going to have to leave us in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Chris, from
Right.
everyone from the
Right.
Shipe Sports Talk Show, we give you your condolences. Chris
Thanks, guys.
lost his dog yesterday.
Yep.
Lucky, great dog. So you give all of us here, you have our condolences
Appreciate
to
it,
you and your
guys.
family.
Yes.
Don't
Yes.
Appreciate it, guys.
And this show is dedicated towards Lucky.
Yep.
He's in here
That's
begging,
family,
begging
man.
for some pizza right now.
That's family.
All right, so let's get right into our picks for the week then. So first one, Washington, New England. Are we all unanimous for New England?
Definitely.
Anyone want to take Washington? If you're going to take Washington, raise your hand now or forever hold your peace.
No, I'm not.
No,
gonna raise my
no one? Okay. Well, let me just put it right here. Everyone.
Everyone.
All right, let's go to Miami. Here's a tough game. It's going to be Miami versus Buffalo. You got Miami. They just came off the bad loss to, obviously, the Patriots,
Patriots.
but
Right.
everyone's losing bad to them.
Mhm.
So let's they had two good wins before that, but then you got Buffalo on the other side who just came off of a bad loss against Jacksonville. I mean, early morning game. So I'm going to go with, is Tyron Taylor back yet?
Yeah, he's coming back.
I'm going with Buffalo then.
He's a full participant in practice.
Buffalo. Christian?
I'm gonna go with Buffalo as well, just because I like Tyrod Taylor a little bit more than I like Miami's quarterback there.
Paul?
Same.
Coach?
Let me think here about 10 seconds here. You know what? I'm going to go with Miami.
And Chris?
Yeah, this is a tough one. I mean, anytime there's a divisional matchup and the teams are relatively even in terms of strength, I'm going to have to go with Buffalo, though. They're the home team. They've had the extra week to prepare. I think they'll pull it off, especially with their quarterback coming back.
All right. I'm going to say my game of the week for the last one. So we'll go right into Philly versus Dallas. Another, I think, could be potentially a good game. Dallas still without Romo, but Philly struggling as well.
Mhm.
I'm going to go with, I guess you can call it an upset, I guess, but I'm going to go with Dallas. I'm going to go with Dallas. I like what you're talking about. No, I know. Whatever. You like that. I'm going to go with Dallas only because Derek McFadden is coming around. Philly's run defense I don't think is really that good. So I'm going to go with Dallas. I think with McFadden you control the clock, you control the game. So, Christian?
I'm gonna go with Philly on this one.
All right. Paul?
Yeah, Philly.
Coach?
Philly.
Chris?
Yeah, this is where we all come back. Philly. This is the one game you're going to lose.
Yeah, okay.
I'm ahead of him anyway.
No, you're not.
Oh, okay.
Very
All
nice.
right.
Nice.
I'm still ahead, but there's a couple weeks of undefeatedness. So, St. Louis, Minnesota is going to be our next game. The reason I picked this game, you may not think, they're not marquee teams or whatever, but you know what? This is a really good game to pick. This is a game that I
Right.
think will be divided. And I'm going to give the edge to Minnesota. I like what Teddy Bridgewater's doing. I like their defense, Adrian Peterson, but I love Stephon Diggs. He's coming around. A lot of teams passed up on him. Oh, he's injury prone. I bet you a lot of teams are regretting. If Stephon Diggs was not hurt through his 3 years of college and was actually healthy, he probably would have been a first rounder, first or second rounder, without a doubt.
That's a definite.
Without a doubt.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go with Minnesota with the emergence of Stephon Diggs. I think he's a game changer. We saw it last week. The 40-yard touchdown wasn't a straight up catch. It was he made some moves. He's got some great speed, great hands. He's great at route running. As always, Maryland produces great route runners. Torrey Smith is a great route runner. He's got the speed. Maryland produces. Darius Hayward-Bay was a different story. But the past couple wide receivers out of Maryland have been really, really something special. So I'm going to go with Stephon Diggs and Minnesota in this game. Christian?
I'm going to go with Minnesota. I like both teams' running backs, obviously. AP and what's the guy's name again? The rookie.
Gurley.
Gurley. I have him on my fantasy team. I don't even know. I remember his name, but he's having a great, amazing season. Potentially rookie of the year. But I like Minnesota's quarterback better, to be honest with you. I like Bridgewater.
Paul?
Give me the teams again, sir.
St. Louis and Minnesota?
Yeah, let's go with the Vikings.
Coach?
St. Louis.
Chris?
I'm going to go with the Vikings, and I think this is going to be a running back featured game. You've got a future Hall of Famer in Adrian Peterson. Is getting towards the end of his career, and
Doesn't look like it.
No, it doesn't look like it. But when you're that age, you're over 30.
But here's the thing, though: he got a year off last year, so
he's a different animal.
He's a different animal, but you do know he's not. Todd Gurley's the new one.
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson is the old model, but this is definitely going to be a drag race, but I do feel like Adrian Peterson's team is going to pull it off.
All right, so another game I thought was going to be divided, but ended up not being divided. All right, so the last game is going to be, I think, the game of the week. I think we all can agree.
Game of the week.
Which is Green Bay versus Carolina. You have an undefeated Carolina versus now a one-loss Green Bay. So I'm going to go with Green Bay with the rebound game. Carolina, I think, they were playing really good last week in the rain, and then when it stopped raining, Andrew Luck kind of exploited them a little bit towards the end. They still were able to manage to pull off the win, but I like Green Bay. I don't think Aaron Rodgers will lose 2 in a row. Christian?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Green Bay. I like Aaron Rodgers to come back and definitely have a good rebound game.
Paul?
Green Bay.
Coach?
Green Bay.
Chris?
This is going to be a tough one. I think I'm going to stick with Carolina as a pretty risky play here, but we saw that a good defense can actually limit Aaron Rodgers. I don't think it's going to happen 2 weeks in a row. I do think Aaron Rodgers is going to come back this week, but I do like the Carolina defense more than I like Green Bay's defense, so I'm going to stick with Carolina.
All right, so that's our picks for the week. We're going to say our goodbyes to Chris as he's got to head out. So we're going to take a quick, short break. What? Your break. Is it? Yeah, but they're going to see us. All right, well, we're on a break.
All right.
All right, see you guys next week.
We'll be right back momentarily, everyone. Please stay with us.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Paul from the Shipe Sports Talk podcast. Just wanted to let you know how you can listen to our podcast while you're on the go using an app called Stitcher. You can listen anytime, anywhere using the award-winning free Stitcher app. Best part is, when you stream our podcast or any of the other 20,000 available out there, there's no downloading, no syncing, or no wasted memory. It's on demand and on the go. So if you don't already have the Stitcher app on your iPhone, Android phone, or tablet, download it free today at Stitcher.com or from your app store. Add us to your favorites list, and every week when we put out our new episode, Stitcher will automatically update and have the latest episode of the Shipe Sports Talk podcast waiting for you. While you're there, it really helps us get our podcast noticed if you give us a nice review, rating, and thumbs up. We'll greatly appreciate it. Have a comment or question? Easy. Go to ShipeSportsTalk.com, click on the Contact Us tab, and there you'll be able to submit your questions or comments. We love hearing from you, so we'll be sure to thank you live on the air. You'll also find on ShipeSportsTalk.com the latest episodes, show notes, and other ways to find us on platforms like iTunes and YouTube. Now, back to the show.
And we are back with the Shipe Sports Talk show with another echo.
It's just pretending like we're in the stadium, that's all.
So we are back. And real quick, before we get into our N1 segment, I want to do the college football playoff rankings. The first ones came out this week. I always put mine on. And, it came out with Clemson, LSU, Ohio State, Alabama, which means Clemson will be playing Bama, LSU versus Ohio State. Here is my problem with this. Florida State last year. Number 1 team the whole year in the nation. They gave them number 1 college football rankings. Why is it so different for Ohio State? They're the number 1 team in the nation. They still haven't lost. I think, you won the national championship. You should be number 1 until you lose. Until the champs get knocked down, you should be number 1. And my other second problem is, I have a problem with Alabama. I'm tired of these damn polls always, Alabama this, Alabama that, Nick Saban. I'm tired of it, okay? They put them in the playoffs last year. What happened? They got spanked by Ohio State when no one thought they were going to win that game. I'm tired of it. I'm sick and tired of SEC. LSU is a whole different monster right now. They belong there. But Alabama, they don't belong. You have a 7-0 Baylor team. You have an 8-0 Michigan State team.
Mm-hmm.
You have an 8-0 TCU game. TCU and Baylor. Yeah, Baylor I can understand. You could be spectacle. They lost their quarterback for the year. But TCU has been blowing out teams week in and week out. And they're 8th. They are 8th. You have a 7-1 Notre Dame team. Who has Notre Dame played this year? Be honest. Who have they played? No one. You have an 8-0 Iowa team.
Well, the only team they really played was Clemson. They lost to them.
Yeah, Iowa's 8-0. They're in a really hard Big Ten. We'll see how they do when they start playing against better competition. Oklahoma State. Memphis is 8-0 for God's sakes. They just beat a ranked opponent in Ole Miss. But Bama does not. I'm tired of seeing Alabama. They are not as good as everyone says they are. I wish you had a clip of that one woman who went crazy on John Feinstein's show or something like that saying, Nick Saban's a better man than you are.
Is that the one who went on the
sports show?
Like a 5-minute tirade?
Yeah. Nick Saban's a better man. You know what? Nick Saban, Alabama, cool. You're 7-1. Cool. The SEC, it's up. You almost lost to Tennessee this year. Tennessee should have won that game. I mean, come on. You should not be the number 4 team on there. It should be Baylor, Michigan State, or TCU. One of those teams should be on that list. And don't give me the old Michigan State, they should have lost to Michigan. If they should have, then they would have. You know what? They made a block punt. Michigan messed up the play. So what? I don't agree with Alabama. Trish, I don't know if you watch college. I know you've admitted you don't that much.
I'll be honest, I'm not too big on college football.
You should. It's more exciting than the NFL.
That's what everybody tells me. I'm going to have to start watching. But everybody does tell me that Alabama is kind of like...
They're overrated.
Yeah.
They're cool. When's the last time they won a national championship? It's been about a few years or so. Right. Yet you still want to put them in the top 4? Give me someone new. Give me a Baylor. Give me TCU. Just because, you know why? Because they're TCU and Baylor, and we said this earlier in the year, last year was that they need a conference championship game.
Right.
And until the Big 12 gets that, they're not going to be represented, but still, they should be with these 2 teams.
Did they get one this year?
No, they don't have a championship.
Right.
The Baylor-TCU game at the end of the year will probably be for the championship.
And the loser's gone, and the winner gets filled.
Well, no, they still, neither one of them should have made it last year, and they didn't.
Right.
This committee is stupid. They're like, the SEC, the best conference in college. You know what I hate about the SEC is they schedule bullshit opponents at week 13 in the college season. They play Division II opponents at the end of the season, so their teams are rested and comfortable when they get to their conference championship games. That's what they do, and it's horse crap. Yet when you have teams like Baylor and TCU, the week Alabama plays like some Alabama South or whatever, TCU and Baylor are playing Oklahoma, they're playing Texas, they're playing teams that matter. That's why I don't like the SEC. They do it to comfort their own teams, so they're like, oh, we don't want you to lose towards the end of the year. Let's give you Alabama South and just let you beat them by 60 points and put in your reserves. I mean, what do you think about Bama? Do you think they should be there?
Well, I was surprised to see him at number 4. I thought that Baylor or Michigan State would slide into that spot. I was totally surprised with Alabama because if you're looking at undefeated teams, should be in the top 4 in my estimation. But I mean, if they're going on strength of schedule, are they going on strength of schedule to happen now or strength of schedule you've already played? It's amazing, but I guess when you're looking at rankings, okay, and you want to get, right now, if you were to look at top TV rankings, this would be probably the best thing going on with LSU and Ohio State and Clemson and Alabama.
I don't want to see Bama.
But I know, but here's what they're looking for. If that was to go on right now, they are looking for an Alabama-Ohio State rematch in a national title game.
Well, it ain't going to happen because I don't think Bama can't beat Clemson.
I'm telling you right now, Clemson is a physical ball club. I mean, have you seen some tapes or highlights of Clemson? They're just knocking people over. I mean, their wide receivers are throwing DBs into the bench on routes. And Clemson is, I tell you, they're going to be, get through the ACC championship game. And the other thing, Michigan State, well, they probably put them in the top 4 if they win the Big Ten championship game. If they don't, they're not anywhere near. So if they lose and it's a one team that beats them, well, we don't have to worry about Michigan State or anything out of the Big Ten because that's it. So now what's going to happen is they're going to take Baylor and TCU. Well, whoever loses that one, we can scratch them off the list, and hopefully, whatever PowerPoints, whoever we're looking at. But I think Baylor has to be in there because I think they got shafted last year. And I know what they're talking about is their schedule they've had this year, their strength of schedule, which what a lot of them say is not up to par with what Alabama or, because I just don't understand.
Because it's the SEC. But look who Baylor has down the stretch. They have to play Oklahoma,
right,
Oklahoma State, and TCU. So that's where they're going to have to get it at.
Right.
But then TCU down the stretch doesn't have a cakewalk either.
No. And that's where they hope that, okay, one of them's going to lose a game here or there, and that last game may not mean anything. But, boy, surprise, surprise, if that comes up and both of them are still undefeated at that time. One of them has to go in that top 4.
Well, TCU's last game is against Baylor. They have Oklahoma State this week, number 14. Then they're going to have number 15, Alabama. So they don't have they have a hard stretch down, but whatever. Tired, Speaking of dummies in college football, how about the dummies of the week of Maryland scheduling their homecoming against Wisconsin? Have fun getting blown out during your homecoming.
Yeah, well, I don't think they're really looking at the game for homecoming a lot or anything. They're looking to have a good time.
Right.
Well, with alcohol in that stadium, they'll have a great time.
Oh, that's right. They did. Because they switched leagues or whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, Maryland basketball is ranked number 1 in the ESPN Power Rankings, so that's good for Maryland basketball.
Very nice.
So I thought I saw them ranked back down at number 3.
That's for the Associated Press.
Associated Press.
But ESPN's Power Ranking has them at 1 because ESPN actually is smart.
They have Maryland number 3.
So we're going to get into our and one basketball segment with our NBA analyst of the show, Christian Rivera. Christian, takes it over.
Yes, sir. So, like I said last week, there was a lot of questions in the Eastern Conference about not who would be, the top teams. It would more or less be who was going to be the team to challenge the Cleveland Cavaliers, who is, more or less the top dog in the division there. Mainly because, let's face it, the East is a pretty weak conference there. The East doesn't have, your Warriors, your Clippers, your, OKC, your Mavericks, your Trailblazers, or, your Rockets even. And a lot of people, they were just wondering, where are the Wizards going to land? They're in that mix of teams that could potentially knock off Cleveland. And to be honest, the first 3 games of the season, I wasn't too convinced by the Wizards and what they were doing. They were playing a little shaky. They were,
they're 3-1 though.
No, they're 3-1. They're definitely 3-1. But they lost to, in my opinion, a very sorry New York Knicks team on Saturday. By I think over 10 points, which is a pretty bad game. They beat a Milwaukee team by a couple points. But I think what really definitely where they really showed out was last night in a very big win against the San Antonio Spurs, where Bradley Beal, real deal Beal, hit the game-winning three-pointer at the last second there. And I just want to talk about what I talked about last week, and that's that for the Wizards to be that team to potentially knock off Cleveland. I think Bradley Beal, like I said, has to score somewhere between 20 and 25 points a game, and that's what he's doing. He's scoring 25 points per game. He's shooting 46% from the three-point line, and he's just playing with anger. He's playing kind of like how Russell Westbrook plays over there in OKC. And as a Wizards fan, you gotta love to see that. And him coming up on a contract year, or this being his contract year, I think the Wizards are definitely gonna have to pay him. You know what I mean? He's averaging 25 points. I know it's early in the season. I know it's only been 4 games, but he's definitely showing out. Definitely when it definitely matters. Obviously. Game-winning shot last night. Another player that's showing up pretty good, had 19 points yesterday, 8 for 10 shooting, Otto Porter. I talked last week, how is he going to fill the role that Paul Pierce left behind? He's still a little shaky every now and then, obviously, I think it's 3rd or 4th year. But he's averaging 12 and 6 this year. I think he's, as the season goes on, I think he's going to get more comfortable in that position, and definitely gonna, his points per game are probably gonna go up a little bit higher. And John Wall, the star of the team here, 20 and 8. 20 and 8 assists. Definitely playing star caliber. Like I said at the beginning of the last week, for this team to get to where they want to get, John Wall has to score somewhere between 18 and 20 points, and Bradley Beal between 20 and 25 points. Like, this team is going to go as far as their backcourt takes them. And even Gary Neal coming off the bench, he's a nice, change of speed there. When John Wall's on the bench, when Bradley Beal's on the bench, he scores. I think he's scoring 8 points per game. He's definitely doing his thing there. So definitely a great win for the Wizards last night against arguably one of the best teams in the league.
Nice.
They picked up LaMarcus Aldridge this past offseason. Who else did they? They picked up I forgot what's his name is, but they picked him up from Indiana, and they're just great team. And the Wizards, you gotta love to see them play good against a top team in the league. And it's crazy because a lot of times the Wizards, they always do this to me. They always play really good against the top team in the league, and really bad against a really bummy team. Like, for example, the Knicks, for example. But yeah, and I really think that the Wizards are showing growth this year. Last year, because in this game they were down by a couple points. Last year, I think the Wizards of last year would have just shut it down.
Yeah.
They would have,
Like almost given up.
yeah, given up, called it a day and lost by 10 to 15 points. They didn't do that. They didn't do that last night. They came back. They toughened up, and
Did they win? So how are they doing this so far?
No, they're doing good. They're 3-1 this season.
Nice.
Yeah, with one bad loss in the book, but they're doing really good. Like I said, Bradley Beal, this is his contract year.
Mm-hmm.
He's obviously playing to get that contract, but I would like to think he's playing to hopefully get the Wizards over that hump of second round elimination that they've been in for the past 2 years. So definitely, as a Wizards fan, like I said, it's great to see Beal making that extra push to become the player that John Wall became a couple years ago, and being a great player. I think John Wall right now is a great player. He's definitely a star of the team. He's just a great all-around player. Amazing athlete, possibly one of the fastest players in the league. But Beal's definitely shown that he could be the scorer that the Wizards are going to need for him to be, because, like I said, they're going to go as far as the backcourt takes him.
So you said that they were Wall and who else had you would like them to see them score those many points?
Oh, Bradley Beal, the shooting
right?
guard. Yeah.
And have they've been doing that? in the
Oh yeah,
first couple
definitely.
games?
Like I said, Beal, he's scoring 25 points a game. I think last year he scored 15 points a game, so that's a 10-point differential. Like I said, it's the beginning of the season, but you gotta love to see that, And John Wall, I think he averaged 17 points a game last year, upped it up to 20. Assists are at around 8.5. So definitely, I one of the things that they're changing up this season is they're playing at a faster pace. As a fan, you're wondering, what kind of effect that's gonna. It's a long season. How long can it keep it up? But I think, with Brad being, 22 years old, young guy, and John Wall just being, freak of nature there, I think they can keep it up. They having Nate coming off the bench mainly because I don't think they think he can keep up with, this young roster here. So they put in Chris Humphries in at the stretch 4 there, and Otto Porter being a young guy as well. And Gortat as well over there at the 5. So I think they're definitely they might run into a couple bumps in the road. It's their style of play that's potentially gonna hinder them from being successful midway through the season. But I think overall, obviously I think they're gonna make the playoffs. And I think they're gonna be a tough team to part with.
Nice. I got to get to one of their games this year, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. They're
get down
exciting.
there.
They're exciting to watch, and it's fun. It's funny because I've been a long time Wizards fan. I remember going back to 2008 when we had Gilbert Arenas, Caron Butler, all those guys, and we always got eliminated by LeBron James. So I've always had a deep hate for LeBron James. So I'm hoping this is the year that we can dethrone the king there.
Last time I think I went was when Michael Jordan was
Wow.
part owner or whatever. I think that's
owner,
when.
owner player.
Yeah,
I went.
whatever it was. Were
Yeah,
you there
we went
then?
one time.
Did we go with you?
That might have been like
Might have
15
been.
years ago.
We all
Yeah, I think it was.
we all went.
Didn't you do like the halftime?
Oh,
like,
yeah,
dunk
I won a
thing?
dunk contest.
Really?
They brought out
Yeah.
like one of those little smaller hoops and everything, and I won like the dunk contest. I got the most fans who applauded me.
I still
did,
remember it.
I did. I did is I threw the ball up in the air, took off the jersey, went up and did it like a little windmill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty creative, right?
yeah. We're still waiting for the prize.
They asked my address. Still haven't gotten the check yet.
What
Nah.
was it? What were you supposed to win?
I have no idea.
Something from sport. I don't know.
I
one
don't
of the
know.
sports
I think
things.
well, I was young. I probably didn't even know my address. Someone else probably got it.
Yeah, but
They
definitely.
may have thought the MD was an MO and it's sent to Missouri.
Oh, jeez.
Definitely, you know, if you get a chance to check out the Wizards this season,
that's-
great team. I think they're going to finish in the top 3 in the East this season, especially if they continue this kind of play. It's going to be hard, but I think with the young guys that they got, you know, they got young legs.
Yeah.
You know, the older guys are on the bench or whatever, but I think they're definitely gonna show up this season.
Cool.
Hey, Paul.
Okay.
Chris just tested me.
Uh-huh.
When you go to just me and Christian,
Uh-huh.
you have someone's name underneath Christian.
Oh, wrong one.
This is not Chris Cordova. This is Christian Rivera, everyone.
I have it right on one of them.
yeah.
All right.
That'll
He
work out.
tested me. He started laughing. All right. So
fix
what
this
I'm gonna get is what we're getting to Nets is, and always you can catch the and one segment every week
Yes,
with
sir.
Christian Rivera, our NBA analyst. We're gonna do Dusty Baker, but this mic is going crazy. We're gonna do a bunch of different sports with a bunch of coaching changes real quick. We're gonna cover just 3. First, Frank Beamer, our Virginia Tech. Sean Prather was one of our guests. He was an alumni. Frank Beamer stepping down after
Yes.
many years of coaching. I think
29 years.
I think personally this is a good thing for Virginia Tech. I think it's time they need a different philosophy there. I think they need an offensive-minded coach. They never really had one. I mean, since 29 years, so I think that's going to be a big change for Virginia Tech. I think maybe good for the program, get some new blood in there. The next one we're going to cover is one for me. And do you want to talk about Beamer?
No, well, I was going to just chime in a little bit with Frank Beamer. For last several years and maybe more than that, I've always gone down to the Virginia Tech football clinic, and it was always kind of odd that Coach Lee Branther and myself were definitely the only 2 high school coaches from Maryland at the time, and just to talk to Coach Beamer, Coach Foster, Coach Height, and all of them, it was a tremendous staff that they had there, and it's going to be I don't know, if you go down to Virginia Tech for the clinic this coming spring, it's going to be a little different without Coach Beamer starting everything off, and it'll just be. But I think that some of the people that they're looking at, some names have been thrown around. They're even Shane Beamer, Frank's son, and Bud Foster have been looked at as the next coach. You're looking at some of them, Matt Campbell from Toledo, Justin Fuentes from Memphis, who is a highly regarded commodity out there, and Matt Welk, the head coach of Utah. So it's going to be interesting to see who Virginia Tech picks up. It'll things will be a little different than what they have been, but it'll be good. And my hat's off to Frank Beamer for 29 years, at Virginia Tech,
Yep.
and along with Coach Prather, who I believe we had asked Coach Prather the question, how the season was not going too well for Virginia Tech, and how do you think they would handle Frank Beamer? And Coach Prather said that at that time Frank Beamer, they would let him go out on his own terms, and that is what you can see what's happened is they handled it with a little bit of class, and he made the announcement a week or so ago that he was going to retire at the end of the season. So my hat's off to Beamer and the staff and faculty, and anything that with the football program down there. It's a class organization, and I don't know if any other coaches from Maryland listening, but if you ever get a chance. It's one of the best clinics that I've been to or have ever been to down at Virginia Tech. They treat you first class down there. So, again, hats off to Frank Beamer. One more thing I'd like to give a little shout out to, that they're going to have what they call the second annual, I believe it is the Turkey Bowl at Gaithersburg High School. It'll be a 4-team tournament. 3 teams will be made up of the Gaithersburg High School staff. And one team will be made up of the parents who want to get involved in it this year. So it's a really good thing. There'll be 2 games played, the 17th of November and on the 24th. Now, if you want to come out and see some of your teachers and administrators, show how athletic they are or how athletic they can be, it's just a lot of fun. I watched the game last year, and I enjoyed the whole time I watched it. You take, don't say betting, but you use your own fantasy points for who stays on the field the longest, how many series they play, if anybody catches a ball or how far do they run downfield before a timeout is called. And, it's a good thing to come and watch. It's going to be on November 17th and 24th, starting around 3:30 at Gaithersburg High School. And thank you for letting me throw that in there.
You're welcome. All right, so let's get into another coaching change. Will be Tennessee. They fired Ken Wisenhunt earlier this week, and I'm not going to touch on it much. The only thing I want to say is Chip Kelly, Marcus Mariota is a Tennessee Titan quarterback. You were at Oregon. Just please come. Please come to Tennessee. You're the only one who knows how to properly use Marcus Mariota. You're the only one that knows what he can and can't do. So, if you're listening, Chip Kelly, probably not, but for some reason if this gets on your desk somewhere, we appreciate you in Tennessee. We would love for you to come. And the fact that you would leave Philadelphia after destroying their whole roster would make any Redskins probably fan in here laugh.
And, we were talking before the show, and I said that I don't think that's a good idea. But now that I think about it, I think it's actually a pretty decent idea. Mainly,
he wanted Marcus in the draft.
No,
right.
Mainly because if you think about it, that would mean that Mariota's having 3 different coaches in a year. Because I don't think Malarkey?
No, he's not going to be there.
He's not going to be a head coach. So that would mean he's had 3 head coaches more or less in
in the span of 1 year.
The span of 1 year.
But at least with Chip, he'll know what he's doing.
Exactly. So
Chip will go out and be like, A, C, Mark will be like, yep, I remember that. Let's go.
Exactly.
Let's go, coach.
But I honestly don't think Tennessee, I think they should have waited until the end of the season to do it.
Maybe, yeah. But when you're 3-20 as a head coach, you're not going to last.
Of course, you've been getting first-round draft picks.
Yeah.
Dude from LSU. But literally, Chip Kelly's going to hand him the playbook. Here you go, Marcus. He's going to be like,
oh, yeah. Mariota will coach.
Same. All right,
Marcus will be the offensive coordinator that year.
I would love for that to happen. Also, I think another coaching change that if it happens, it'll be great for Andrew Luck, is if they do get rid of Pagano. They've been struggling a lot. Mm. And the Sean Payton track stays on, where people say, can you imagine Sean Payton with Andrew Luck? That'd be a pretty good combo.
Reincarnation of Drew Brees. Again, in Indianapolis.
By the way, they're playing in Cincinnati tonight, and I've seen that stadium firsthand. That's the Ohio River. I ate dinner on that river.
Nice. I thought you said you fell in it.
No. So, and then last of all, the last coaching thing we're going to talk about before we wind up the show is the new Nationals introduced new manager, Dusty Baker.
Yes,
so,
Dusty.
as a National fan, welcome, Dusty. At first, I was like, Bud Black, pitching coach type of guy. But then the more I look at Dusty, the more they brought in Mike Maddox, who's probably going to be great for the bullpen, great for pitching.
Innovator, pitching coach.
Dusty has always found a way to get these not these hotheads, we get these star players to perform for him. He did it with Barry Bonds. He had Joey Votto. Now he has Bryce Harper. And Dusty, from his press conference, seemed like he has family here in Maryland.
Yes.
I liked in the press conference he said,
and another thing is, I don't mean to cut you off, Matt, but he was actually at the Wizards game last night.
Yeah, he was.
Yes.
So I like him, being involved in the whole,
he said this is his 4th and final team he'll be with, and he's mentioned he has a vendetta. He's won a World Series as a player. He wants it as a manager. He wants to be a player manager who's won a World Series as both. And I think he has the talent to do it. Now, we'll see what they do in the offseason. I'm sure he'll have a lot of input. Mike Rizzo. The only thing I'm worried about the Nationals now with money is they lost that $269 million lawsuit with Masson.
Right.
Orioles won that, so they overturned it. So we'll see. I'm sure that'll keep on going on and on. But I like the hire of Dusty. I like that we have an old-school coach who won't go by the rules. He won't see if it's a 7th-inning guy. He'll put in whoever he needs to win. Unlike Matt Williams, who tried to stick to the script. Dusty's old school. He even said it. He's like, they did an interview. They're like, well, you always coach in the NL. He's like, because the NL is old school. You don't have no DH. You have the pitcher. He's like, it's old school baseball. It's what baseball was originally intended to do. And that's why he's always coached in the NL. He says he's never had he never had applause in the AL. He likes old school baseball. So the more I look at it, the more I like the hire. I mean, what do you think about it, Coach?
I think it was a good hire. you have to get somebody that's going to lead this group of young men. I mean, you've got it's a young ball club. You got some potential out of them, but there's still tap potential that I believe Dusty, with the way he manages, will get it out of him. And it's he wants to win. He wants to win, and he's going to do and manage how he can, the best he can, and he's done it for a while, in putting this team back in the playoffs. So it was a good move.
Now, free agency starts, I believe, on Saturday. So next week we may have some free agent talk. But obviously, like last year, we got into a lot of free agent talk. So we'll do that again. Christian, you finally join us. So you'll see all the previews we start doing as also the NFL season winding down. Also, we're trying to put in something again for next Sunday, I believe, at BWB. We're trying to.
Yeah, I just got to check my schedule and see make sure everything's all right.
If you're listening to the show, watching it, just check back with the Facebook. We'll have it on and off. Either if we have it at BWB, our show will be on Sunday, not Thursday. We can't do the Sunday. We'll be doing the Thursday show.
You can do both.
You want to do both? That's
Why not? The more the merrier.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up to you if you want to do both.
To everyone, stay tuned to Facebook.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, how about definitely next Thursday and Sundays?
Yeah. You know what?
There.
Next week we'll have the show next Thursday, and if possible, we'll have a Sunday show, so you may get 2 times of us.
Nice.
Yeah.
And please come out to the Sunday show and get involved. Get involved. Ask questions. Give us your comments and stuff.
I went there last Sunday. Great wings.
Oh yeah, great ones.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Food was
also,
great.
I want to give a shout out to the man. I think is Eddie the only manager there?
No, there's he's kind of like
who's the older gentleman, white guy? Is that Eddie?
Yeah, he's like
White hair.
he's like the run. He's like
Does he have like white hair and everything?
the running
Okay,
manager.
well, I want to give. Maybe you can tell him this since you've seen him. But shout out to Eddie. My wife loves I think it's like garlic rooster flavor combined.
Mhm.
And when she asked, they said they couldn't see in the computer. But Eddie went ahead and said, "Hey, put them together for her." Do it. So shout out to BWB for hooking up my wife with some
Yeah.
garlic rooster wing sauce I can
Nice.
take home. So
Gotta love
shout
good
out to them.
service. Gotta love good
That was
service.
awesome. BWB, they do a great job there. They're great with us, letting us use their space for the show. We take up their little corner over there, but they do a great job with us.
Even if you're not coming to the show, or whatever. I mean, it's a great place to come
Pool-
up there
they
and
have
watch
like,
a game.
What is it, 4 or 3 pool tables?
It's
Yes.
a great sports bar.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is.
they
Yes,
have
it is.
four. Is it 4? Maybe 4.
Four pool tables,
Yeah.
dartboard. I think we should have I think next week we should have a Shipe Sports Talk pool tournament going on with us during the games. What do you
Yeah.
think, Christian?
Y'all will all lose.
I've had plenty of practice on the 10 to 6 shift at work.
I bet.
They have a lot of things. They have
Let's
stuff
hope
for
Schultz
yes.
doesn't see this.
they have stuff for kids too. They have like arcades and stuff there
Yeah.
too, and
So it's a great time, and they
yeah,
take
good
care of you
place.
there. If you
Oh,
ask
yeah.
for something, they'll get it done for you.
Oh,
So
Yeah, good people up there.
So that's gonna do it. So I'm gonna let Paul take it away, Paulie.
all right. Well, so you know where you can find us. So again, like Matt said, check up for any of the statuses. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. And Twitter is just at Shipe Sports Talk, and everything pretty much is at Shipe Sports, except for email is Shipe Sports Talk. Or sorry. No, that's right, shipesportstalk@gmail.com. And then the website, which is shipesportstalk.com as well. So I'm working on something else where we're going to be able to stream audio only to people also. So I'm gonna start setting up so we'll be able to stream. If people want to, they'll be able to hear the audio stream only on this thing called Mixler and on Spreaker also. So there's 2 big communities on there. So if you can't catch us on YouTube, then you'll be able to catch us live on just audio only using those 2 things, Spreaker or Mixler. But that's gonna be for next week.
All right, I like it. All of this stuff. So is that it?
Facebook,
Twitter.
just Twitter,
All of the above.
Shipe Sports
Yes.
Talk.
I don't know if Cordova's got his Twitter up yet. We'll figure that out.
And get us on iTunes, the podcasts, or you can find all the podcasts on the website. You can also subscribe to the podcast using your on iTunes using your iOS device, and let's see, Stitcher on your for your Android or any other device that you're using.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody else is really using anything other than Android and,
Right.
and
Yeah.
iOS. Maybe BlackBerry, but that's
Nah,
What's a BlackBerry?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
but I think that was the only one. Anyway, so that's it. That's it for the house cleaning portion of the show.
So for myself, for Chris who had to leave early, for Christian,
Yes,
Coach,
sir.
welcome back, and Paul, thank you for joining us today. If you have any fantasy football questions, obviously, like you say, you can do it on the comment section on Facebook or ask me on Twitter. And stay tuned to see when we're going to have our episode next week. Obviously, you can join us next Thursday as always, 6:30. And then stay tuned for the Sunday episode. Thank you and have a good day, everyone.
Tighten up.
Excellent. See ya.
Good night.